We are a body like Bruce, and of late we've been looking at numerous videos of Bruce Lee, as you can see here on the right. And prior to this we came across a couple, we believe to be two ladies, who went to Bruce Lee's grave in San Francisco there, or Seattle, wherever he's been laid, and tried to contact Bruce Lee. It was quite weird, quite funny, and quite hard to understand. They went there with some sort of spiritual contact voice box and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, we had a little chuckle. And then we came across this video by former Kempo Karate practitioner, martial arts expert, who came across Bruce Lee and maybe did a bit of contact with him, his karate, Kempo Karate against Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, or his martial art, whatever, and he got to know Bruce Lee quite well. And he talks on a supposed sidekick called Jenny and others, the Nine, who contacted Bruce Lee beyond the grave, and he was quite angry, claiming that he was murdered by certain people, given a lethal dose of hydrochloride, etc., etc., and suggested what they do to reveal who murdered him. And he gave a few names: the supposed brothers of Betty Ting Pei, the Thai actress, who's supposed to have had a on the side romantic affair with Bruce, etc., etc. And it's called Renowned Psychic Channels, Bruce Lee in 1982. We found it pretty interesting. Go and have a look at it. We're not going to play it because we'd probably get a copyright claim or strike or something like that. You can go watch it yourself and come to your own conclusions. But basically what we're getting at is that we made a comment, a couple of comments in regards to this particular Tom Bleeker rant. He was formerly married to Linda, Bruce's widow. There is a video down here somewhere on the right that shows his wedding video. Way down here somewhere, but it's there. So we put in our comment, stated, it's quite lengthy, that it is widely reported that Bruce Lee died from cerebral edema, swelling of the brain, and the cause of his death was considered to be an allergic reaction to the medication he took, because he had a headache. While he was at Betty Ting Pei's place, he was supposed to go have dinner with Raymond Chow, the director, friend, and he never made it because he laid down to have a nap and he never woke up. Betty Ting Pei couldn't wake him up. So she rings Raymond Chow, who then calls an ambulance, and apparently Bruce Lee dies on his way to the hospital, etc., etc. Okay, so it was widely reported that Bruce Lee died from a cerebral edema, which is swelling of the brain, and the cause of his death was considered to be a reaction to a medication he took. As with any death, it's important to rely on credible medical and forensic information for accurate and reliable explanations. But we have read a report, that's what we remember it as, it could have been a news article, an interview article or something, on Bruce's death, but many will say, it's just another conspiracy theory on his death, one of thousands. He really died by the death touch, ninjas got to him, Pokemon killed him in his sleep or something like that. An examination by a Hong Kong doctor or mortician who said Bruce Lee died due to an allergic reaction to a highly potent strain of cannabis, or overuse of that particular cannabis or hashish he was using from Tibet or Himalayas, was the cause of his death. Overuse of that drug. He had someone, and here we've arrowed someone, because in this Tom Bleeker video rant, psychics that contacted Bruce Lee beyond the grave talked to him extensively, where Bruce Lee says, find out who murdered me, it's my brother, not meaning Robert or anyone like that. He meant probably one of the Ting Pei brothers. She had 4 brothers with this sort of stuff, and he died of a lethal dose of hydrochloride because he was buying drugs off a certain peoples, or something like that, and it goes on and on. Go and listen to this video, find that all out for yourself and come to your own conclusions. But anyway, put this note here, this comment here. It is widely reported that Bruce Lee died from cerebral edema, which is swelling of the brain, and the cause of death was considered to be a reaction to a medication he took. We do know of someone that recently passed away about 4 or 5 years ago, and they hit the floor so hard that it caused a swelling of the brain and just kept puffing up, and they eventually died. Or if treated, they would have been a vegetable staring out a window for the rest of their life. They had that cerebral edema sitting on their head waiting to burst, supposedly all those years from cigarette smoking, so we were told. Okay, so again, it is widely reported that Bruce Lee died from cerebral edema, a swelling of the brain, and the cause of his death was considered to be a reaction to a medication he took. As with any death, it's important to rely on credible medical and forensic information for accurate and reliable explanations. But we have read a report on Bruce Lee's death, but many will say, oh, it's just another conspiracy theory on his death. Your claim is one of thousands. And examinations by a Hong Kong doctor or mortician who said Bruce Lee died due to an allergic reaction to a highly potent strain of cannabis or hashish. He might have smuggled it from Tibet or the Himalayas. He overused it. He had someone, perhaps drug suppliers, and in the spirit contact with Bruce's spirit, he actually uttered, yeah, of course he used those drugs, different drugs, as reported or found stated in Matthew Polly's book, or the drug letters. Perhaps Bob Baker, as stated in the report or a newspaper article that we came across, smuggled in the drugs for Bruce. Bruce, according to the stories, remember Robert Baker, he was the guy on Fist of Fury, the Chinese Connection, the Russian guy, the one that Bruce Lee pulled his pant straps, taunted him like that, and before he eventually defeated him. Okay, this doctor stated that there's nothing really wrong with Bruce. Maybe this is when he collapsed the first time and the second time. He had the body of an 18-year-old, but that he should refrain from using hashish. He did, as it was deemed too potent and could kill him. But he retorted, yeah, but I'm Bruce Lee. Typical Bruce Lee response. But for Linda Lee to collect Bruce's said 3 life insurance policies, she had to get cleared that autopsy report, because in the minor details it's like, well, if he was a drug abuser, supposedly if he was a drug abuser, well, you can't make the claim and get the money. So a friend of hers who was a doctor in the USA went to see the Hong Kong doctor to change his report to death by misadventure, allergic reaction, swelling of the brain, cerebral edema, to a analgesic. He was reluctant to change it. He said that's how he died. I examined him and that's how he died. This doctor, mortician from Hong Kong, was reluctant until the pushy doctor convinced him to change his findings. Later, Linda Lee then collected Bruce Lee's 3 life insurance policies, as she had then, at that time, 2 kids, Brandon and Shannon, to look after. She wasn't an actress, she wasn't a writer, or she didn't have a lot of money by the sounds of it, so she was near broke, so she had to do something just to survive. Wouldn't you, if you had the opportunity? Another American doctor or therapist or expert later on, many years later, probably in 2020 or something like that, we can't recall exactly, but it's on YouTube, in the medical profession, came up with the idea that Bruce used a lot of cortisone for his back pains, anabolic steroids, etc., and realised it would eventually come back on him, and that he'd lose all that muscle that we all admire, that physique we all admire, and grow bitches tits. That's a condition from anabolic steroids or steroid use, overuse, etc., and be a blob of useless droopy skin. So Bruce went into hiding so no one would see that, and faked his own death. So maybe a really observant fan or expert will wake up one day and come to realise, hey, that's a possibility. Because it seems like Linda and her daughter Shannon are now living well because of Bruce Lee's policies, his 3 life policies. And Bruce had been quoted in one of the many books as saying, I will have $10 million by, and supposedly, amazingly, miraculously, he achieved that. Apparently he did, but how? But only Tom Bleeker, the narrator in this video, who married Linda at some point, would know if this be true or not. But will he talk on that theory honestly and openly, that Linda was well off? Perhaps that's why he married her. Who knows? Yeah, we're not saying he's deviant or anything like that. We're just making a suggestion. But at the end of the day, he can say, no, that's rubbish, and give it a valid reason. Calm and cool as a cabbage in snow, without having to get angry, because he's confident in himself and he knows the truth, he's an honest man, etc. And he'd be able to retort that, right? Again, will he talk on that theory honestly and openly? Another friend of Linda's suggested the near break Linda, he is a publicist apparently, push and sell Bruce Lee memorabilia to his doting, loving fans. Those were blinded supposedly by his movies, his physique, etc. i.e. us, who would buy everything so she has, or Shannon has done, and they're rolling in the money from Bruce's legacy and fame. Shannon said she basically had her own business and made her millions or whatever, however much she made. She's quite wealthy, and she seems to have this Bruce Lee memorabilia museum type thing, right? So she's doing alright with that. And Linda, she's probably doing okay. She's still alive and kicking, so she must be doing okay somehow. So yeah, another friend, Linda's publicist friend apparently, suggested she do that. So that's what it appears that she's done. And we make a comparison as this is what Priscilla Presley did, as she wasn't such a great actress, her daughter couldn't sing to save herself, and so forth. So they've possibly lived off Elvis's money, fortune and fame, and the fans buying all the Elvis memorabilia, anything from his used jock strap to his hair, on their visits to Graceland and so forth. Note, when Lisa Presley died, Priscilla got all angry apparently, as she wasn't getting any inheritance or getting any money from her, because apparently her daughter had left her nothing in her last will and testament when she died. And we're also wondering, so are the Jacksons living off Michael's fans, his memorabilia, etc., like possibly Linda Lee had, Shannon Lee has, and the Presleys have? Only you, through your own personal research, etc., can come to that conclusion to present those facts as established facts, evidence, proves itself evident, etc., etc. So nobody can refute it, say any different, right? The evidence is all there because the evidence has proven itself evident, etc., etc. So that's one comment we made, and then he goes on about Betty Ting Pei and her family, and we found some information on Betty Ting Pei, the actress who supposedly had a secret love affair with, or secret romance with Bruce Lee, and then was blamed for his death because he was at her apartment or flat or hotel at the time of his death. Betty Ting Pei is a retired Thai actress who was active in the Hong Kong film industry primarily during the 1960s and 1970s. She was born on February 16, 1941 in Thailand. Ting Pei gained recognition for her roles in various films in the martial arts and romance genres. I think she was in the Bruce Lee spoof imitation film Bruce Lee's last days. Yeah, it's a pretty cheesy movie. If you've watched it, it's pretty. If you haven't, it's pretty cheesy. One of her most notable connections in her career. Okay, Ting Pei gained recognition for her roles in various films in martial arts and romance genres. One of her most notable connections in her career is her alleged relationship with martial arts legend Bruce Lee. Ting Pei and Lee reportedly became close while shooting the film Game of Death. Their relationship became a subject of controversy following Lee's sudden death on July 20, 1973, as Ting Pei was with him on that day. Regarding her brothers, there is limited information available. It appears that Betty Ting Pei has 4 brothers, but specific details about the identities and careers are not widely known or easily accessible, so we leave that up to Tom Bleeker to provide us. Then we can probably work from there. And there's another one here which is really interesting from somebody else called Cookie Fan 59. He didn't know how or why he stumbled onto this channel, Tom Bleeker's channel, other than he'd been a huge fan of Bruce Lee since 1971, or maybe Tom Bleeker. He just related this one thing. He always felt very connected with Bruce Lee after he started studying with Jun Rhee, the Grandmaster of Taekwondo. Possibly worked with Bruce Lee, trained under him maybe. There was just something very private and almost physical. On the morning of April 1st, 1993, this particular person was getting ready for work. He had heard that Brandon Lee had been shot the day before but was struggling for his life. Well, when the announcement came over the television that morning that Brandon Lee had died the previous afternoon, the entire set of 3 shelves of books that were over the TV at his house collapsed at that moment. On those shelves were all of the Bruce Lee instructional books he had purchased from the old O'Hara Book Publishing Company through Black Belt magazine. That might be Bruce Lee's fighting methods or that sort of stuff. This person didn't realise at first what had happened until he started trying to clean up the mess. Then it hit him that somebody was extremely angry about what happened to Brandon Lee. Well, it's probably just coincidence, but who knows. It broke the person's heart to hear of his death, much the way JFK Jr.'s death hit him a few years later. Yeah, he was a bit of a playboy apparently, wasn't he? And suddenly he's dead. The person didn't know what happened to Bruce Lee as far as a conspiracy goes, but he does believe that Brandon Lee was set up. Yeah. Someone put a real bullet in it to take him out. It wasn't no mistake, no accident. It was deliberate. The truth is right in front of us. All of these new revelations about Bruce do not surprise this person at all. This person worked with Olympic level and professional athletes for the past 22 years in sports medicine. He appreciated Tom Bleeker's take on things very much of the medical explanation about the adrenal crisis and so forth. But he does believe that there was some foul play. So do I. In a recent interview, Betty Ting Pei stated that one day the real truth about the way he died will be revealed. That's pretty indicative of some nasty business going down. And this person would keep on watching Tom Bleeker's channel for a while, and thanks him for the information revealed. It was so refreshing. Oh, here's this video of Tom Bleeker, and he married Linda Lee in July 24th, 1988. Has that marriage lasted till today? There's quite a few other videos here that may be of interest to you. Amy Sambo video. Not too sure if this is that Japanese girl that Bruce Lee was head over heels for way back in his younger days when he was attending a certain high school or university or whatever it was. He came across her. He carried her up the stairs because she broke her leg or something like that. I'm not too sure if that's the same woman mentioned in those Bruce Lee books. But she left him and he was quite devastated. She broke up with him all this stuff. Maybe he was too arrogant, had too much of an ego and sort of put her off. Okay, so we hope that this video that we just made gives you some insight, that it was very interesting what we brought up, and go do your own personal research on it, etc. Don't take our word for it. This is just what we've come across over the years. So if you like this particular video, then subscribe to us, add your comments below, give us a like, Don't forget to give us a like, and then go share this particular video with all your families, friends and others. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, our latest video upload.